So, hi Arun, how are you?
Hello, hi Vignesh. Yeah, I'm good. Hope you're
Yeah.
doing well.
So, yeah,
How
amidst
are
the
you doing?
global scenario, Q4 results have been coming. Some results are good, some are extremely pessimistic. So, I'll just run through all the results and tell you what is happening in the Indian quarterly results space. So, can you see my screen?
Yeah, yeah. Yes.
So, so TCS came up with its results. So basically, TCS was our opening batsman. It released its results 2 weeks back. It was not that great. It was mediocre, and then ICICI GA, ICICI Prudential gave good results, but the stock didn't rally much. So in the month of March, the premiums, new policies have been high. So there was good premium growth, but overall the market was not that happy with the result, and the stocks fell down. And then the best of the lot was Angel One. So Angel One came up with phenomenal results. The stock went up like 12% in 3 days. So because last year it had a lot of issues. Bank Nifty moved from weekly to monthly expiry and additional charges. So they had a lot of volume play going down. So the results were very poor last year. So due to base effect, even QOQ, the results were exceptional, and it's close to its 52-week high now. We can look at the charts later. So HDFC AMC was expected to give good results. Their business update was great, but the results were decent compared to HDFC AMC standard. But still, the stock rallied a lot. HDFC Life was good, but I didn't track its price. So overall, insurance company results were mixed. IT was in general very bad. Either the results were bad, even if the results were bad, guidance was very bad. So same with Wipro. Wipro was bad. It fell down 6% after results. So the results were mediocre. Then the guidance was extremely pessimistic. So everyone thinks that the budget has been reduced across all global markets for IT. So their guidance is very weak. So the best results came from, I would say, ICICI Bank. So what happened there was provisions came down 90%. NPAs got reduced. Same is the case with HDFC Bank. Though the profit growth, net interest income growth were not extraordinary, they were still hovering in the late single digits. So credit growth was good, deposit growth was good. Most important thing for any bank to remain solvent is your NPS. So NPS coming down drastically was something big for both these banks, and in fact, ICICI provisioning went down. Provisioning was down close to 90%. So I was expecting it to the entire bank index to rally on Monday. These results were announced last Saturday.
So yeah, so first let's look at the Nifty, right? So Nifty, if you see from a weekly point of view, it is actually between a rectangle box where you can see that 26,285 is the all-time high, and then it looks like right now a double top, right? So which is quite dangerous. So you could so then this neckline or this line becomes very important, 22,149.
Hmm.
So unless we cross above first target like 24,857, we
Hmm.
have to go above this red and go into the green again. So and then go above the all-time high. So then only we'll get bullish. In between, we will be just oscillating, right? If you
So
look at this
sideways
setup here,
market. Ah.
yeah, like if you look at this setup here in 2021, 2022, so you had a period of, say, starting from October 2021 to June 2022, which is almost like 8, 10 months, where you were in a rectangle. So, and then once only you broke out of that, you were able to move up high, right? So you're
Hmm.
in the same phase here. So it could happen that it can go like this, and then move up. So we don't know. So there might be some indecision in the market as well. So
Hmm.
we'll have to wait and see on that. So for now, the key
So what are the
levels are
chances of the 22 199 line breaking down?
Good chance because the more, I mean, see,
So
you look at the
fundamentally,
outside.
things are not good,
Yeah,
especially
fundamentally things are not
from a
good, right?
job
So
market
fundamentally when things are
perspective.
not good, there are more cause for concern, right?
Mm.
So cost is going up. So that sectors are not, I mean, like AI is also an issue, right? So
Mm.
you have more reason for economy to fare badly. So that would mean that there is a very good possibility that we either consolidate sideways or we start going down,
Mm. Mm. Got it.
right? So yeah, long-term outlook is not that great. So we don't have a, no one knows, right? So what happens? When will the war stop? When will oil, be readily available? So
Mm.
there are a lot of questions. So it's difficult. Then when you have lot many questions, especially for foreign investors,
Yeah,
then they
it's
don't.
been yeah, it's been 1 month since I ordered cylinder. So there is no proper answer till now.
Yeah.
They
So
keep
when
saying
you
call
have
me next week.
yeah. So, like, if you don't have cylinders, then hotel gets affected,
So
travel, tourism, flights are getting cancelled in
crude
everywhere,
oil, yeah,
right?
crude oil price if
Yeah.
it goes up, yeah,
So,
aviation sector will be affected
but
badly.
but it's not all gloom and doom. Like, so when you
Mm.
have one sector will having bad, what is a crisis for one sector is an opportunity for another sector, right?
Mm.
So if you see, for example, quickly, I'll show you which sectors are doing well. Look at energy.
Mm.
Energy is like going up, right? So energy is
Mm.
in an uptrend, CNX energy. Look at
Mm.
the metals. So, which is your all the metals are going up. So you have, say, for example, fertilizers are having issues. So, but if there are some companies who can get around that,
Mm.
then or domestically, manufacture. So those might have a easy way out, or it could be your offshore drilling. So there are sectors where you can make money, right?
Mm.
So so yeah, so that's why you need to take a sectorial view and kind of keep track of how things are going in each sector.
Mm. Got it.
Yeah.
So the two sectors I spoke about based on the results. IT, can we look at? So metal, one second on this chart. So as long as global uncertainty is there, can we assume that the metal index will remain bullish?
See, metal index is composed of your gold, silver, like your precious metals, and then it also has the copper and other things, right? So
Mm.
it has a mix of them.
Mm.
So as long as your, if you have AI data center needs and other things in US, so that means copper is important. So there are things like that. The other factor that we need to also watch out is both US and China right now
Mm.
are trying to stockpile metals. So China is like stockpiling silver. At the same time, now they just
They
put
want
their
uranium also
next.
from Iran.
Sorry.
They also want all the uranium from Iran.
Yeah, like US wants it, right? So, but my point is, US the only thing US doesn't have is critical minerals, right? So they,
Mm.
they consider copper as a critical mineral. So tungsten, for example, so that's what they need to make that missiles, right? So there are a lot
Mm.
of so they are making investments in those areas, and then China
Mm.
is also stockpiling these. So in
Mm.
general, globally, metals have a very bullish outlook. Okay.
Mm.
So right now, that's a good place to be there. Energy in the same way, you have all this, uh, Iran issues, but then what it also means is you see in the news so many refineries are getting burnt or getting fire. Like we can speculate on why it is happening all of a sudden everywhere. Maybe is there someone malicious doing all these things? But then beside the point, what it means is crude oil is taken from the ground or from sea or earth, and then it's refined into petrol, into diesel, into kerosene, into jet fuel. Many things comes out of that crude oil, right? Petrochemical products. So now when refineries are getting burned, then those products are getting problem, and these products are the inputs for all your industries. So this is where supply chain becomes important. So like if you have a company stock, you need to know where they are getting their input feed from. which country they are getting.
Mm.
If they are getting from Brazil, they are saved, right? Because Brazil, there is
Mm.
no issues. You still can get your supply. So I think this is you need to understand the stocks and business, like where is the input and output coming from or
Mm.
going to. That is important. So in general, yeah, in both energy and this, it is good. I would say something like a Reliance is a good bet to be now, because Reliance have those refineries, and usually in the refineries right now the crack spread is increased, which is basically what is my input crude oil price, and then with that 1 barrel of crude oil, can I make 1 barrel of petrol, 1 barrel of diesel? And then that
Mm.
means I sell them both. So then what is my outputs product I'm selling minus the input cost? Right now, because of all these refineries are getting hit, that spread is high, which means that everything goes to their bottom line. So I would assume, I don't know. I have to check how, where their refineries are. I think Jamnagar and like probably in India. So I think it's important to know how Reliance is working from the petrochemical business. If it is doing good, if they have no problems, then I would say that's a very good stock to hide.
Got it. Yeah, let's look at IT index. And
Sure. Bad. It's like you see, whatever it started, it's starting to giving up. So you have So it's actually, it made a new high and now it is coming down here. So there is every chance that it could make this bottom. This could be the bottom. So you come here, but in case if it drops here, but then it just like this and then goes down, that's another leg down. Okay. But right now, every chance that it goes till 26 to 94, which is another 5-10% out. So yeah, it's near term is bearish IT.
so, any chance of becoming bullish? No.
No, not at the moment, as I say, right? So you need to cross this level.
So, yeah, what
You
is the
might,
resistance
like
that you
this, it
speak of?
might
Okay, there.
it might keep on
That is like a
oscillating between
long
this.
back, right?
Hmm?
Any
I think
short-term
it's
resistance?
short term. This is the
Maybe
resistance.
look at daily chart
Very
maybe.
very short term. This is your big resistance, 32,000 CNX IT, right?
So
But
it is currently at 30,000.
currently at 30,000. So this is the levels I would put. So
Yeah, just in the last 2 weeks it has fallen.
yeah. But it's a like, but you say that last 2 weeks, but look at the
Yeah, that was
fall from,
February. Yeah, February
you're
four
talking
weeks.
about
It
from,
is, yeah.
yeah, like from February to this, it has fallen so much, right? So,
Mm.
when it falls, you need to look at from where it falls. So it is falling 28%, but right now it recovered only, it went up only like 12%. It didn't even go 50%. And then now it is coming back again. That is a bad signal.
Mm. Fundamentally, everything is bad in the sector,
Yeah. But of course, there will be one or two stocks which might be doing well. So
like
um,
OFSs.
like you see this one, right? So Oracle. So it is looking for a breakout. Of course, what it means is by laying off so many staff, they have now all the cost is cut, so bottom line becomes big, so that they get more profit in even though they do so many layoffs. So yeah, it is looking good for Oracle, but we need
Mm.
to wait and watch.
Yeah. So, yeah, let's look at bank. Yeah, let's also look at Wipro and HCL, the two worst beaten stocks.
Yeah, Wipro is not that great. See, you had a again you had a all-time highs during 2021. It went down and then it didn't make a new high in 2025 February. It consolidated here, tried to move back. No, it got a sharp rejection. It went down, and now here it is there. You could make a case for like a consolidation here and then move up, or you could break down here. So I think I would say for Wipro, this line is the big line, 176. if it falls below 176, it can go even
The
lower.
shorting
Or
IT sector, a good move at this point of time based on these charts.
can you say that again, Vignesh?
Shorting the IT sector based on the charts and the current negativity
Shorting is
around.
not a good idea in this case because you
Oh,
basically try to short when it is at the highs
yeah.
because there is
Maybe if in
no
February it was the
the,
right time.
there is no risk reward to do the shorting here,
Hmm.
right? So if you're asking me, I would rather like maybe look to short energy, but not now. I'm saying like because when you short, you need to get a reward, right? So
Hmm. So basically, look at
it's
risk reward
yeah,
ratio and then take a call.
yeah.
Right now, everything is already done here.
See if you want a short IT, I will short it around here, right? Wipro, like around this
Hmm.
167, I will
So get
short.
confirmation and then do that.
Yeah.
HCL. So is there any scope for HCL?
Oh,
No, HCL
HCL,
Tech. TECH.
yeah, HCL. Ah, very bad chart.
Yeah.
Because now you see that it is actually broken. It it couldn't even go up in this down market. It went here. Now it is in a free fall, right?
Hmm.
Now I would say there are some support areas coming. So this would be one support area right now where it is. It is one support area, but it's not that big a support. So you could end up here. So 907. So it could be like this, this,
The
this,
one.
and this, or this and this. So I would say there is, if this 1 to 1200 is broken, then it can come all the way down to 907.
So fundamentally, if you look at the IT sector, right, there are a lot of good things. One, all of them are debt free and they have several thousand crores of cash in their balance sheet. And they also give you dividends. So the dividend yield should ideally act as a support at some point of time for all these stocks.
The the problem is what is the PE that you are giving, right? So your forward earnings and the other things that you are giving, can it sustain? That is the key question.
But
So
still,
if it
what I'm
can
saying
find it,
is,
yeah,
if there is a catastrophic fall, right, at some
mm,
point of time, the dividend yield, if it is giving me 6% returns, right, I'm getting FD returns, and on top of it, the stock may go up. So that is the kind of returns you'll get. Maybe at that point of time, it could be
yeah, but dividend, see, in this kind of
forming some
scenario,
support.
my problem with that is in this kind of scenario, when you have a question mark over your real business prospects,
Fundamental, yeah, yeah.
fundamentals,
But
dividend doesn't matter.
what I'm saying is the cash and the balance sheet will help them to sustain and survive
Yeah,
tough
it
times.
will help them, it will help them sustain, but unless they have a get out plan, right? It doesn't
Mm,
matter because you won't get the foreign investors or the
mm,
big net worth investors coming in because
mm,
every investors only look at the growth plan. So if
mm,
they don't have a viable growth plan,
mm,
it will not sustain.
got it. Anyway, yeah, we'll do one more deep dive video on the fundamentals of the sector. Yeah, let's look at the Bank Nifty and then Fin Nifty and then
Yeah,
BankX.
Bank Nifty looks good. So you see that in the monthly chart, it fell down, but
Mm,
then it kind of rebounded back. And also when it rebounded, it as of today it has rebounded um, like it went down 17%, but now it has got back 12%, which is that more than 50% of the drop it has sustained.
mm.
So that means when it closes this month, it could again be bullish. So I'm actually the chart is
On
actually
monthly
saying
chart, any
bullish on bank.
resistance, yeah, any price point beyond which, or is it bullish now, or is there any price point at which it will become a buy?
See, okay, this is the important one. If you see weekly chart, you are at the resistance right now.
Mm,
Okay. So question is, can it go above, crack above, or does it fall down here? Because if it falls down here, and then like what this month end, right? So one week to go. If this next week it is going to drop here, more like, let's say, if by end of next week we are at this place,
Mm.
then I would rather say that this is bearish.
Mm.
Okay, because then what happens is you are at 353, 357
On a
or
monthly basis, it
537.
looks bullish. On a
See, when
weekly
you're
chart, yeah,
yeah,
looks
so if you
bearish.
if you come to this level and close the month of April here, then you are again bearish
Mm.
because you are not even going below above this line here, this support of 53,700. In fact, if that happens, then I would say I'm actually short banks, especially if it loses this one and this one. Sorry, here.
Mm.
If it loses this, I will start to go bearish. If it loses this, then of course, yeah, I will be fully bearish.
Mm. Got it. So what about Nifty and bank which contain insurance companies as well as NBFCs?
Fin Nifty.
FINNAFTY, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I got that's only the futures, right? It's the same thing, same setup. But at least it's on monthly, it's looking decent. But
No,
again,
I
you are
think
seeing
this
that
is
it is the resistance
futures.
here. So
Is there
again,
any other
same play.
anything else Nifty?
Hmm?
Yeah, yeah, this is the right one. Yeah. So
Yeah,
it
I'm
is very
saying it is
similar.
the
Okay.
same chart. It's actually the same chart as Bank Nifty.
Just that some extra stocks are there, no difference.
Yeah.
Okay, BankX, BANKEX. Yeah, first one.
Again, same setup.
Mm.
So you need to wait and watch here because you are at the weekly resistance here. If all this goes above, so then you're okay. If you
Mm.
this is the get out, it's like 64,400 here. If
Mm.
you close above weekly and monthly, then I would say like we are still in the bull territory.
Mm. And one more question. Yeah, anything else you want to show?
No, no. Maybe if you have other charts to look at,
No, why do FIs keep selling India? So even after these results of HDFC and ICICI,
you
which
want to know why? This is why. See, when
yeah.
you have a when you have a see you invest you're investing your US dollars into India. So then the question, see how much. Look at this. I'll give you a simple example. So when you're between 2022 and here 2024, around the 2 year period, you had a constant currency 82 rupees. Okay, so
Mm.
that means if I invest here $1,000 for right, and I get converted to 82,000 rupees, and invest in a stock, and if it gives me 10% return, then I get out here, and then I get my whole the actual stocks 10%. Okay, but what happens here? So I
Yeah,
invest
yeah. Just
my
show near August
82,000 here, but
2024.
my when I get it back, how much I lose it, right?
Yeah,
So
go
how
to
much I
August
lose.
2024.
So look at this. So you have 7%. You have 7%. You have lost your money value. So if the same 10% you get the return from the stock, you're losing 7% from the currency devaluation.
Actually, I have
So
an
only getting
interesting
3% return.
analogy. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, okay. I have an interesting analogy here. So basically, in August 2024, right? That's when the market hit an all-time high and then started going down. So it's the USD INR going up from August 2024. So from then on, there is no
So
return, no reward actually in the
I
Indian
think I
market.
think we had a drop here, but then
Now
this
go
whole
to
move
August
started here.
2024. Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, August 2024 is
yeah,
somewhere here.
yeah, yeah. In September, August 2024, we hit the all-time high. So
Yeah.
from September, we started going down the Indian market, and then
I think
it's been on.
what you need to look at is this one. So from here, you started moving, right? So like this was November 2024. You made a 4% move by end of the February, right? So if you look at Nifty,
Yeah, if we compare Nifty with this, it will be proportional.
See, September, there was a, like, generally around October, November time, this is when it broke through the
Yeah,
resistance
that
here.
is where I'm
But you
asking
won't,
is USD, if INR depreciates, or what it is, if INR depreciates, that's when the market goes down. Is this simple and straightforward? Can we draw the charts
no,
together?
it's
Nifty
not
to
like
USD
that.
INR?
It is not directly like that
But in this case, it
because
is direct in this particular scenario,
see, it
in
comes
this
down to the
particular
rate of
gap.
return, right? So if I invest in India and I get my the stock I invest is going to give me 20% return, but even if the value devaluation happens higher, I'm okay to just be there. So it's a question of how does the outlook look
Mm.
and how does the currency appreciation depreciation look.
Mm.
That's a combination. It's not a just a
Mm.
single thing.
Mm.
Because if you are going to outgrow that, right? So it's the same thing as inflation, right? So if you're going to outgrow that, then I'm okay to invest. But if you are not going to outgrow, then that's an issue, right?
Yeah, let's hope rupee appreciates and FAs keep coming in and pouring money into the Indian market. Yeah, thanks a lot for the time, Arun. Have a great day.
Sure.
Bye.
Yeah. Have a good weekend. Bye.